Probably you know it better than us, Dr. Quadras. And therefore, I would like to thank you very much on behalf of Ashraf residents. Dr. Quadras, dear Amparo, we hope and we sure the siege of Ashraf is going to be lifted as soon as possible, so we can have the honor to host you as family members of resistance in Ashraf. Before I give the stage to Sadiqe and your Ashrafi friends, I wish to ask everyone here to express their gratitude in a well-known Ashrafi manner, which is a 1-minute warm standing ovation. Thank you.
1 دقیقه به افتخار آقای ویدال کف میزنید.
خانم ویدال و خانم مریم سلام. خدمت آقای ویدال و خانم ویدال و گلوریای عزیز، امیدواریم که به زودی شما رو حضوری در اشرف در کنار خودمون داشته باشیم. ترجیح میدم چون وقت کم داریم، ترجیح میدم بیشتر از این وقت نگیرم و برنامه‌مون رو شروع کنیم.
Hello to the dear friends of Ashraf, Dr. Vidal and Mrs. Vidal. We are very happy to talk to you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and for your friendship and everything you have done for us. Even though I know you are aware of the situation, I will try to give you a very short report on some of the issues. One, the concern over the security and protection of Ashraf is the most important issue for us. In the last 2 years, the Iraqi forces have showed that they neither have the will nor the competence to protect Ashraf. The insecurity in Ashraf and the threats against it constantly continue, especially after July 2nd, 2010, when the U.S. forces and consequently the monitoring team of UNAMI left Ashraf. Iraqi forces have felt that they have free hand to harass the residents. In the same period, for a number of times, the residents have been subject to attacks and harassments, and every case has been reported to the UNAMI, the U.S. Forces Monitoring Team, and humanitarian organizations all over the world by photos and films. In the month of October alone, 28 Ashraf residents were injured. No doubt, if it was not for your efforts in the European Parliament and the EU, in the absence of U.S. forces and the UNAMI monitoring team from Ashraf, the suppressive actions of the Iraqi forces would have been much more than what it has been. We absolutely agree with the suggested solution of ISJ under your guidelines that has asked for U.S. forces and the monitoring team of the UNAMI to be stationed in Ashraf and to guarantee the protection of the residents and to have the same treatment standards of before 2009 when the U.S. forces were in charge of protection. ISJ has also asked that the Iraqi forces, which are the main party in the implementing suppressive acts against Ashraf residents, be removed to the compound and buildings outside of Ashraf, which was handed over to the Iraqis by the residents as a gift for this purpose. Two, the second issue is the 9-month psychological torture of Ashraf. Since last February, the Iranian regime, with complete support of the Iraqi government and Iraqi army, have brought the elements of the Ministry of Intelligence under the cover of families to Ashraf's gate and south fence. They are using very profane language which could only be found in the mullah's regime's culture against the residents to harass them 24 hours a day by using 100 powerful loudspeakers. The mullah's regime's goal, and also Maliki's government's goal, from these vicious and unprecedented actions is to prepare the ground for violence and attacks on Ashraf. The 24-hour psychological torture even covers the Ashraf hospital because the elements of Iranian regime are located right next to the hospital, depriving the patients from rest and calm. All the logistical services, lodging, transportation, and supplies needed for this torture is provided by the Iranian embassy in Baghdad, with complete support of the Malikist government. The Iraqi forces and soldiers who were supposed to be here for the protection of Ashraf are providing all the services for these elements. Unfortunately, UNAMI and the U.S. forces are not taking any serious action in this regard. Three, the next issue is the unjust and unlawful siege of Ashraf, which has already taken 22 months. Based on tables that will be provided to the representatives of UNAMI and the U.S. forces and diplomatic community in Baghdad, the access to life necessities have been either zero or close to zero compared to the same in 2008. For example, they have not permitted the entry of any food preparation facility, also the entry of parts for water systems, generators, and vehicles have all been zero compared to year 2008. As the electrical items and other maintenance supplies, only 27% have been allowed in. Only about 1% of basic construction items have entered Ashraf, and none of items for maintenance of buildings. Over the past 22 months, no items have been allowed in for repairing buildings. Many appliances in Ashraf are broken down, as the entry of spare parts have been prevented. We have not been able to repair them, and they are mostly out of order. You may not believe, but among the banned items are paper, light bulbs, clothes, and many ordinary items like water hoses. Gasoline is not permitted to enter Ashraf, and under such conditions, even bicycles that people use for transportation are not permitted and are sent back. This is why the government of Maliki has banned the residents from any job or occupation to make their living for the past 22 months and does not allow them to sell the goods they have produced, including the pre-made housing. The government of Iraq has deprived the residents from having free access to medical services in Iraq and has acceded to treat only a certain number of the patients by doctors, services, and conditions specified by the Prime Minister's Committee. Families, lawyers, parliamentarians, journalists, and independent fact-finding mission have also been banned from coming to Ashraf during the past 2 years. 4, in the face of Iraqi forces' crimes and cruelty, We have no way of complaining to the judiciary authorities.